It is my privilege to introduce to the Whitney Lions Club tonight a pretty important dude, which he's going to be upset with me saying, but that came to me recently while I was writing PID, which means a past international director. So he has gone through all the steps of Lionism up to the international board, and I just want y'all to know that when I met him, he was Governor Sam Lindsay, district governor. And he blessed my heart because I only knew the local Lion stuff. And when you learn the district Lionism and state Lionism, it is a whole different bar to set for us. So I was just in tears to think I was missing all this information. That's when he came into my life. So I hope you will be as blessed as I've been. And I would like for you to welcome you, but I can say these things first before he comes up here. So, he's past international director, Sam Lindsay. He was elected to serve a 2-year term as international director at the 99th International Convention held in Japan. In Japan on June 28, 2016. Past Director Lindsay is from multiple District 2, Texas, where he served as district governor for District 2X3 in 2006 and 2007, and served the Lions of Texas as the 44th president of the Texas Lions Camp 2012 and 2013. PID Sam served as the Area F chair for LCIF Campaign 100 from 2018 to the conclusion of the campaign at the 2022 International Convention in Montreal, Canada. That's the one I wanted to go to. But just so you know, LCIF means Lions Club International Foundation. Lions Club International Foundation. The money that comes when we ask a request, we donate to that, but it comes out to go to disasters and things. Right? During his 50-plus years of service as a Lion, PID Lindsay has received 11 International President's Awards, an International Leadership Award, 5 Extinction Awards, the Grand Master Key Award, and is a progressive Melvin Jones Fellow. Melvin Jones started the Lions Club, you will learn that. PID Sam has received the Ambassador of Goodwill Award, the highest recognition conferred by the Lions Club International, and has been inducted into the Lions of Texas Hall of Fame. PID Lindsay is married to Lion Jody Lindsay, also a Melvin Jones Fellow. They have 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren. PID Lindsay serves as a financial advisor. I just want you all to please welcome my dear friend, Sam Lindsay. I didn't bring you any to come to Lion this time.
Well, good evening, Lions. I'm really happy to be here this evening. I'm so glad to see the Whitney Lions Club growing and thriving, and we have a lot of new members to install this evening, and we have new officers also to induct. And so it's really my privilege to come and be here this evening. And I've got to thank Lion Debbie for her very kind introduction. We were reminiscing before we started this evening that I met Debbie almost 20 years ago when I served this district as district governor 06-07. And the very first officer training that we had at the Waco Founder Lions Den, this lady shows up and says, "Hi, I'm the president of the Whitney Lions Club." And so we began to work together then, and I've encouraged her, she's encouraged me, and it's wonderful to be back in Whitney. I asked about the banner because a lot of times I like to talk about the banner, and And will you be real upset if I walk over to the banner a little bit? Can you follow?
Oh, go for it.
Flexible.
But I want to welcome our new members because you're joining an association that is the largest service organization in the world. There's 1.4 million men and women serving in over 200 countries in geographical areas in the world that we join hands with in service. There's actually more member countries in Lionism than there is in the United Nations. And our organization has a long history with the United Nations because the United Nations was formed after World War II. Lions clubs played a role in helping define and set goals for the United Nations for what they wanted to do for their humanitarian service. More recently, Lions are described as an NGO. And since I lived in Kasi, Texas for 30 years, y'all know where Kasi is? It's a wide spot in the road a little bit east of Marlin, Texas. So I didn't know what an NGO was, so I had to look it up. And it's a non-governmental entity. And so Lions has partnered with the United Nations for many, many years. And more recently, we've had the Lions Day at the United Nations, but not only do we have it in New York, but we have it in Brussels, and we will have it in Paris, because we have Lions all over the world, and it gives us a better perspective of the organization that you have joined. I came into Lionism in October of 1972 in the Conroe New Lions Club. And all I knew about Lions was what went on in that home club. And then as the years have moved forward, to more years than I want to think about, I've had the great experience and the opportunity to see Lionism outside our local club. And it gives you a totally different perspective of Lions and what we do as an association. When you have the opportunity this past weekend, Lion Debbie and Shanna came to our district convention. And I saw her there, and she was introduced as a new Lion. And we had Lions from 23 different Lions clubs that gathered in Clifton, Texas last weekend, just a few days ago. Other opportunities are coming up. Our state convention will be this year. It rotates around the state. This year, it will be in Lubbock, Texas. Now, I know you're wondering why would you want to drive to Lubbock, Texas? But we'll have 450 to 500 Lions from around the state of Texas that will gather at our state convention. One of the really outstanding leadership opportunities is the USA-Canada Forum that also rotates around the country and also in Canada. Last year, the USA-Canada Forum was in Louisville, Kentucky, and next year it's in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It has been in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I think I said that right. And and in Calgary and other places. And international conventions this year, as we come up, will be in Orlando, Florida. It was supposed to be in Mexico City, but they couldn't get the contracts worked out. Next year, the year of 2026, it will be in Hong Kong. And so the international convention also gets scattered all over the world. And with last several months, it was announced that the International Convention in 2030 will be in San Antonio, Texas. So the Lions of Texas have not hosted an international convention since the 80s, and it was in Arlington, Texas, between the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I inquired about your banner because I love club banners, and if our videographer will not be offended, I'm going to walk over to it a little bit. See, I believe, and let me speak up a little bit too, because I hear the air conditioning running. So if you can't hear me, just wave your hand at me and I'll try to up the volume. Our banners, I think, say a lot about Lionism. You know, our colors as a Lions organization, and they have been since wrong century. 1917, Lions came together at the Adolphus Hotel in Dallas, Texas, and formed Lions Clubs International. See, I say it and the AC goes off, so now maybe you can hear me. Our founder is Melvin Jones, who was an insurance man in Chicago. But there were already clubs that were Lions in the state of Texas. The oldest club in the world is in the San Antonio Founder Club. The Austin Founder Club claim, and I think they're agreed, that they're the longest continuous Lions Club, because the San Antonio Club sort of put everything on pause and their entire membership went off and fought in World War I. And so they did not continue. They had about 2 years that they did not continue to meet. But the state of Texas was very prominent in the formation of Lions. And that's the organization that you're joining. A club that has the greatest history in the world, the longest history in the world, and we're the largest. And of course, we know that we're the best. We don't even consider Rotarians in the same place as we are. But our colors are purple and gold. And that was not just an accident. The purple represents the royal purple. And I think it speaks to the majesty of our goals. Let me give you an illustration. I'm pausing because there's so many, I don't know where to start. And as I'm looking at the clock, you don't want me to talk for an hour and a half about all these things that we have done. But Lions take on projects. So, okay, here's the one I want to share with you. I was sitting in an arena in Hamburg, Germany in 2014 at the International Convention. The international president was Barry Palmer from Sydney, Australia, and he was telling us about a new program that Lions were about to undertake. There had been a pilot program to vaccinate children, mainly in Africa, third world countries, vaccinate these children for measles. Now you might ask, why would we vaccinate children for measles? What is one of the side effects of measles? Don't everyone talk at once now. One of the side effects is blindness. Now, the greatest cause of blindness in the world today is diabetes. But in children, one of the greatest causes is measles. And you know that Lions is one of our main global causes, is the prevention of blindness and services for the blind. Y'all were aware of that?
Yeah.
Do you know why that is one of our global causes? Next year, actually it's later this year, in 2025, commemorates the 100th year that the Lions at their international convention in Ohio were addressed by Helen Keller. And Helen Keller challenged the Lions to become Knights of the Blind. And so we collect eyeglasses and recycle them because we're accepting the challenge of Helen Keller today. Leader Dog for the Blind, which is in Rochester, Michigan, but places dogs all over the U.S., including Texas. It exists because we're accepting the challenge of Helen Keller today, just as she presented it 100 years ago. Eye banks are a result of our accepting the challenge of Helen Keller. When I went out of office as an international director in Las Vegas in 2018, the Lions of the World added the fight against diabetes as a global cause. And I've already given you the punchline, because the greatest cause of blindness today is diabetes. And so we are banding together to fight diabetes. And also in 2018, we added a global cause of fighting pediatric cancer. This weekend, the Houston Open Golf Tournament, the title sponsor is Texas Children's Hospital. Were y'all aware of that?
Okay.
Do you know that Texas Children's Hospital is a grant recipient of Lions Clubs International Foundation to the tune of over $5 million, because Texas Children's Hospital runs a program in Africa, in Nigeria and Kenya and Tanzania, fighting pediatric cancer. I was on a phone call a week before last. Okay, here's a disclosure. They gave me free tickets. Sunday I went to the Houston Open at Memorial Park because LCIF, because they're a grant partner, was invited to come and participate. So I learned about the programs that Texas Children's Hospital is implementing in sub-Saharan Africa to fight pediatric cancer. And one of the things that I learned is that children with cancer, when they're diagnosed early, have a very good prognosis of successful treatment. All of that stuff, I put it in the purple category that speaks to the majesty of our goals. So let me go back to Hamburg, Germany. President Barry Palmer is introducing a program that we're going to vaccinate children against measles. And he shared with us the information that day that the death rate for children in Africa and really throughout the world was about 465 children a day. that Lions, along with a grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, you ever heard of those folks? And a drug company in Great Britain that was going to provide the vaccine, and we as Lions are going to provide the manpower. But through our foundation, we also donated towards vaccinating these children around $20 million, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation donated $30 million. And you're part of that because when you wear this pin, this pin, this is a Lions pin, and you're going to get your pin tonight. And so our history as an association becomes your history. We, the Lions of the World, vaccinated over 200 million children. So when we talk about the majesty of our goals, what we can do is 1.4 million Lions, men and women. About 30% of our membership are women, ladies, and it's growing. Pretty soon it'll be 50-50. Just as an aside, in this district, our governor, first vice governor, second vice governor are all women. And that's a phenomenon that has occurred just in the last 4 or 5 years. Because before that, it was old, fat, white-headed guys like me. And so what we can do as an association when we bind ourselves together speaks to the purple, to the majesty of our goals. Now the gold that's in our banner represents the purity of our motives. Because as Lions, we don't do anything for selfish reasons, but we provide eyeglasses. We send children to our Texas Lions camp. We buy hearing aids. We provide food and feed the hungry. You'll see Lions on the side of the road cleaning it as we take care of our pledge to the environment. And we also have a pledge for youth. And so we as Lions sponsor LEOs. LEOs are junior high school age children. And, I'm sorry, we don't have junior highs anymore. We have intermediate schools. I'm so old I don't remember what they are. So we have intermediate schools and high schools. And these children are encouraged to join clubs, and I bet there's a need in Whitney, Texas for a Leo club and sponsor those children. A lot of those children in Leo clubs will become your recipients for scholarships. They'll become your recipients to buy eyeglasses for children in need. So you have lots of opportunities. But the gold, the color gold, represents the purity of our motives, because we don't do it to enhance ourselves, but just as Helen Keller challenged us to serve humanity, and just as Melvin Jones challenged us to serve humanity. We as Lions accept that challenge, and so when we go out and fundraise, we don't buy shirts and vests and caps with that money. We donate it. If we want to buy shirts and caps and vests, then it comes out of our own pocket. Because the money we raise from the public, because of our own bylaws and constitution, has to go back to the public. And so that is the purity of our motives. The other thing, or not just the other thing, but you notice in our emblem, we have 2 profiles of the Lions in each direction. So I usually choose the profile on the left as the profile that looks back at our now over 100 years of history, back to Melvin Jones. back to Helen Keller addressing the Lions in the challenge. The state of Texas has provided about 10 past presidents for Lions Clubs International. The most recent is Jimmy Ross, who lives in the community in the Panhandle called Kittiquay, Texas. I never heard of Kittiquay until Jimmy became president. In 2019, a great lion, Eb Grindstaff, that served as president in 83 to 84, and I dearly loved Eb, and he passed away during the International Convention in Milan in 2019, right ahead of COVID. But we, the Lions of Texas, have been such a great part of that history. The Lions of Texas are the largest multiple district in the United States. We have over 20,000 lions that you are now part of. During Debbie's introduction, she said that I was a past international director from MD2. That means multiple district, and we're the second because Melvin Jones was from Illinois. So Illinois is MD1. The Lions of Texas are MD2. And my goodness, we now you go over to India and it's District 332A, B, C, D, depending if you're in Mumbai or New Delhi or wherever. But the Lions, the largest multiple district in the world, is no longer the Lions in the United States. The Lions that are in the multiple district of India, Nepal, you'd be surprised, but Nepal is the fastest growing, Lions is the fastest growing in Nepal of any country in the world. They've gone from 8,000 to 20,000 lions in the last 5 years. And it's due to past international director Sanjay Khatan, who's just unbelievable in their spirit for lionism. But you never think of yourselves as members with Lions from Nepal. They're wonderful, loving people, and I really enjoy being with them. I need to start spinning this thing up and winding it up. These things that are on your banner are called banner patches. And when you do outstanding things, you'll get a banner patch. When you donate money, you'll get a banner patch. And you probably, I'm nearly certain of it because hardly anyone does, you probably don't have all of your banner patches on your banner. Because they get mailed and somebody puts it in a drawer and 2 years later it gets thrown out and doing all kinds of things. But these two, that one, these represent your commitment to the Texas Lions Camp. And I wish I had an extra hour to talk about the Texas Lions Camp, but I can see the groans on your faces and you don't want to do that.
Can we invite you back?
Yes, invite me back, I'll give you a program on the Texas Lions Camp. As a past president of that organization, and it just celebrated its 75th year as it was formed in 1949. And during that time, we have served over 80,000 children in Texas with disabilities. It was built to serve children with polio in the early 50s, but it quickly expanded to almost any child that's a special need child. And if you would like to, I'm going to lead a field trip on Friday, June the 13th. So if anyone would like to go to Kerrville to the Texas Lions Camp, we have room reservations at the Inn of the Hills, and they're $99 for Friday night. And we're gonna meet at the camp at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, have a tour, go check in the hotel, have dinner, come back to the camp, have an award ceremony that there will not be a dry eye in the place. But I promised you I wouldn't spend a lot of time on that, but I wanted to plug that. Other things you have are, you've had membership growth, you've had, you've donated to the Texas Lions Foundation, and we don't have time to talk about that at all, but they're great. You participated recently, you must have made a contribution to LCIF to help feed the hungry, because you've got a banner patch for that. When I was international director, we had a visitor in Texas. It approached Texas from the Gulf and came ashore just north of Corpus Christi. That visitor was Hurricane Harvey. And Hurricane Harvey affected over 800,000 homes in the state of Texas. And before the hurricane came across the shore, Lions Clubs International Foundation had already called the council chairman in Texas and said, you have a $100,000 grant, a disaster grant. The Lions of the world began to send money to Lions Clubs International Foundation, earmarked for the Lions of Texas. And before it was all through, the Lions of the world donated over $1 million to the Lions of Texas to fight Hurricane Harvey, and that was in 2017. The most recent event in Texas of note were the Panhandle fires last year. And again, Lions Clubs International Foundation immediately awarded a $100,000 disaster grant, and the money is still being accounted for, but the majesty of our goals and what we can do together as Lions is just mind-boggling. And so that is the organization that you're joining this evening. And I want to congratulate you for restoring this club, Lion Debbie's special work in getting this club back on its feet. I'm going to walk this way if that's okay. And so we're going to get busy with our installation of our new members. Yes.
So we always begin giving the glory to our Creator and honor to our flag, and I neglected that. Would you all forgive me? And we have veterans here who would make sure we get this done. So would you let me make sure we have the pledge?
Well, I am a veteran, so we all join me in
Yes.
in our pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, President Debbie. I got a special letter from the President of the United States in 1968 inviting me to join the United States Army. There were only 400,000 men in Vietnam, but the Army in their infinite wisdom sent me to another foreign country. They sent me to Massachusetts. And I stayed there for the entire time of my service. I became a company clerk, and so I was the Radar O'Reilly of the 108th Military Intelligence headquarters company at Fort Devens, Massachusetts.
That's where you learn the information.
We appreciate it.
So that was,
Thank you for your service.
I'd been married 6 months, and my wife and I loaded everything we had into a 1967 Camaro and drove to Massachusetts. Holy cow. What a minute. Okay. Hopefully, most of these lions are here this evening.
Yes.
And Debbie, if you will pull out the membership certificates, please. And as I call your name, if you would come and line up to my right, please. So, and please forgive me if I make a mess out of the pronunciation. I mean, I lived in Copley, Texas too long and it just ruined my vocabulary. Bradley Lamoureux, is that? Lamore. Okay.
Taking care of the baby.
Okay, well, he'll be back in a minute. Sarah Lamore. Okay. Rick Lamore. Okay. John Lemon, or is it Lamont? Lamont. John. Brandon Hodges. Nicholas Gregory. Michael Slack. Shannon Hill. Okay, that's allowed. And Dan Hill.
And Lily.
And Lily. Okay.
And
Well,
Diane.
you can grab Shannon when she comes back. Well, that's just about everybody in the room.
Diane.
Oh,
By the way,
Diane.
oh, yes. Well,
Not an officer,
well, this is not officers, these are new members. So you
yeah,
know.
she's a,
See, you were on the list, I got an email, but she's not on this list.
You should be. At the
It
bottom,
wasn't printed.
very
Yes,
bottom.
she is, yes, she is. Okay. Am I gonna install a tail twister? If I do, you can find me. Lions, I'm so proud of all of you for joining our association and becoming part of Lions Clubs International. I've already told you, and that's as short as I can do it, by the way, about our association. But I will ask you to raise your hand, and we're gonna have a little swearing in ceremony. I'm not gonna swear at you. But do you agree that you will abide by the Constitution and bylaws of Lions Clubs International, and if you do, say I will?
I will.
That was pretty good, but it was just a little bit weak. So, see, I wasn't convinced terribly, so we're gonna try it again. Do you swear that you will abide by the Constitution and bylaws of Lions Clubs International, and if you do, say I will?
I will.
See, I believe you that. Okay, we're not done. Do you promise that you will participate in your club meetings and your club projects to the best of your ability? And if you do, say I will.
I will.
Perfect. We're almost done. Do you promise that you will pay all of your dues on time? And if you do, say I will.
I will.
Thank you. On behalf of our international president, see if I can say his name, Fabrizio Oliveira, this is Tim. I now declare that you are duly installed in Lions Clubs International. So congratulations. And here's oh, no.
we have a special little baby
This is
line.
Debbie's baby line.
So,
Special little baby line.
so Debbie is going to give you your pins. So, Nicholas. Nicholas, here's your certificate of membership. Sarah, here's your certificate of membership. Richard, there you are. Bradley.
Yes, sir.
Yep. He's got his hands full. Daniel, here you are, sir. Brandon Hutchins, here you are, sir. John Lamont, here you are, John. Shanna, she will be with us in a moment. Michael Slack, here you are, sir. And Diane White. So congratulations to each of you. And Debbie will, why don't we go ahead and return to our seats. Debbie will come around and give you, let me congratulate you. And Debbie will bring you your Lions pin. Congratulations. And congratulations to our association. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Really?
Good, Leo.
Debbie calls her baby lion.
So now, I know we're on overtime, but we're gonna install our officers real quickly. I think that was my copy. There's yours. Oh, I think that's yours. Congratulations. Okay. So now we've got everyone officially installed, and you have your membership certificates, and Debbie is bringing your Lions pins around, and so we're going to install our members. So the first one is Sarah. So, we'll just do this where we sit, okay?
Okay.
So, Sarah, you have been chosen as your club's marketing and media. When I was a Cub line, we didn't have that office. Because we didn't have social media, and we did a really poor job of marketing. In today's world, there are so many opportunities on social media, Facebook, Instagram, all the stuff that I know so little about. And that's the way, we used to send articles over to the newspaper. Newspapers, no one reads the newspaper anymore. But in order to attract new members, did I insult you? I'm sorry.
Some people read it, just not everybody.
Well, for 40 years, or no, not that long, yeah, maybe. I got up every morning and read either the Houston Post or the Houston Chronicle. But the last 15 or 20 years, I haven't done that. That's a different story. We're talking about Sarah. So, Sarah, do you promise that you'll do the best job you can as the marketing and media chair for the Whitney Lions Club?
I will.
Thank you for saying that in the affirmative, and I'm happy to declare that you are now the marketing and media chair of our association. John Lamont, you have been elected, chosen, however y'all did it, drew lots, as the well, this says, in the program, it says tail tamer. That's a contraction between tail twister and lion tamer. So, Debbie, is John the lion tamer or is he the tail twister?
I think it's
Is John the tail twister or the lion tamer?
Lion tamer, what does it say?
It says tail tamer.
Okay. Tail tamer? I'm sorry,
Okay.
it says he's the lion tamer, yes.
Well, those jobs are very different.
You are
Those jobs are very different. if you're the line tamer, if you're the line tamer, that puts you in charge of all the club property. And one of your jobs as line tamer is to help get the meeting room set up. And so that would include your banner, that would include flags, if your club has a flag. If you have a gong and gavel, which I bet are in one of those boxes or bags up there. Lions clubs historically have a gong and a gavel, and we bang our meetings to order, and then we bang the gavel to close the meeting. And the line tamer, who's in charge of all the property, then is the line charged with the responsibility of having the room set up. But occasionally you'll have lions from another club that will come to visit you, and they'll want to steal your property and make you come to their club to get it back. So if you have visiting lions, like me for instance, be careful that you don't lose any of your property. Lion tamers are also the greeter. And so if you have guests that come to a club meeting, one of your responsibilities as a lion tamer is to greet guests and other lions as they arrive. So if you agree to do this office to the best of your ability, please say aye. Congratulations and welcome as the lion tamer. Okay, Nicholas?
Yes, sir.
Nicholas, you're the tail twister.
So I've been told.
Most often, the tail twister is the most obnoxious line in the club. But you have special powers that no one else has. And it'll be hard not to abuse it. But you have the power of levying fines. And part of that is to develop esprit de corps. Now, don't ask me to spell that, but I know the Aggies plan to have it.
Very careful.
But as tail twister, you're supposed to make the clubs fun. And tail twister stunts are frequently conducted by the tail twister. You could go around and ask your club members, say, who's president of Lions International? And if they can't come up with the name of, who is it? I told you a minute ago. Yeah. Who's from Brazil? Fabrizio. Yeah. Fabrizio Oliveras. And if they don't know that, well, then you could give them a fine. Or you could say, who's the most recent past international director from Texas? And it's not me. It's Ernesto TJ Tiarina from San Antonio. So, or you could ask them, who's our district governor? And it's Renee Lamson from the Clifton Lions Club. So, as tail twister, you can, the door is wide open for let your imagination run wild with you. But don't be overbearing, know when to stop, know when not to irritate someone so much that they get mad and leave. But make the clubs fun, that's the goal. Okay. Apparently y'all could not decide who the secretary was, so Shannon and Sarah will be the co-secretaries. So,
Sarah has deferred to Shannon because she's making the service change.
okay, so the secretary has like two main duties, maybe three. The secretary is the link between your club in Lions Clubs International Foundation. So that means the secretary needs to be computer literate and be able to log on and add new members as you add them, drop members as they leave, and be sure to keep the membership roles correct between this club and Lions Clubs International. Another major duty of the secretary is to take minutes.
Thank you.
Is to take minutes at club meetings or board meetings. So if the club passes a motion that you want to give your guest speaker a $500 honorarium, well, Sarah would record those minutes. Or if you decided to make a donation to the Texas Lions Camp, Sarah would record those minutes. So, and the third major thing, which has come about more recently, and this may be something that we want to delegate to Shannon, and that is, you still have to go online, but Lions Clubs International and the district governor asked that clubs report service. So that if you collect eyeglasses and donate them to the Texas Eyeglass Recycling Center, and you collect 200 pair, that's 200 people that you're going to serve. And so Lions Clubs International wants a record of that. You want me to give you an illustration as to why Lions Clubs International wants a record of that? When Lions Clubs International went to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to ask them for $30 million, we had to show them that Lions had a record and a history of taking those funds and doing good with them. And so with the record that we have had through NISA, with the record that we have had through Lions Clubs International Foundation, Debbie reported on my bio, and it's in here, that I served as Area F Chair for LCIF from 2018 through 2022. During that 4-year period, the Lions of the World raised over $325 million. Most of it, I mean, a lot of it came from the United States. But the Lions in Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and the Lions of India, they view it as a contest, especially between Japan and Taiwan. Holy cow, those guys, I mean, they write $1 million checks. It's unbelievable. In order to do that, we have to make our cause. We have to strengthen our cause, and we do it, Shannon, by recording service. So when we say we have served 200 million people in the first 6 months of this year, then when we go to, let's pick somebody, not Tesla, but when we go to back to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we can make our case about how much good we do. So reporting service in the last 2 or 3 years has gotten really, really important. So if we split some of the duties of the secretary, and Shanna is in charge of reporting service, and then, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Shanna's in charge of service hours. So y'all make sure she knows about that. So, Sarah and Shannon,
That way.
I'm sorry, you two ladies. So, Shannon and Sarah, do you agree that you'll conduct this office to the best of your ability? Good, thank you.
Okay.
I will. She said. Now, another really important office is going to be held by Dan. And Dan is going to be your club treasurer. Now, one of the things that you need to do, Dan, is to make sure that dues money does not get commingled with money that you raise from charity. Money that you raise from the public goes back to our donations. LCIF, Lions Camp, Leaders Off the Line, scholarships for Whitney High School seniors, fine eyeglasses for elementary school children that can't afford, their family can't afford their glasses. Providing food, usually Thanksgiving and or Christmas for needy families. Those are things that your board of directors and everyone that's an officer is going to be on your board of directors. So we need to make sure that those funds are not commingled. And Dan is the treasurer, that's his job. His job is also to send out due statements, and whatever y'all set your dues at, you'll pay it into Dan. And just a few minutes ago, every one of you agreed you pay your dues on time. So I know Dan's not going to have any trouble. Dan, I think that just okay, so if you accept the responsibilities of prayer. I will. Now, we have two vice presidents, Rick and Brad.
Bradley.
One by
Chris.
Well, we have Vice President Rick and second Vice President Brad. Okay, both of you, as vice presidents, you're automatically on the board of directors. But you're part of the planning team that supports your president. But in the event that the president is absent and not at a club meeting or not at a board meeting, well then, Rick, you would be your Rick.
Yeah.
Father and son.
So you, if Debbie was not at a meeting, that makes you the presiding officer. And if Debbie and Rick are both gone, that makes Bradley the presiding officer. These positions are often awarded to Lions who show leadership potential and will be presidents in the future. If you didn't know that, you know now. And all agree that you will serve in this capacity to the best of your ability. All right. All right, Debbie, come stand next to me. As president, I think we're out you are the chief executive officer of the club. You will, in connection with your board of directors, will set the agenda for your club. You'll conduct the meetings. You will exercise leadership. But I caution you, the most successful presidents are presidents that delegate. The presidents that have the most trouble are presidents that try to do everything themselves. And you've got some wonderful people here now that are officers and on your board of directors. And so you're the team leader, but you're not the lion tamer. So delegate, get the other club members, but you need to lead by example. So that means attending board meetings, club meetings regularly, attending board meetings regularly. And helping these lions that we have installed in their positions, help them to do a better job as secretary and treasurer, and line tamer, and tail twister, and vice presidents, and encourage them. And if you're willing to do that, please signify by saying that. Okay. So congratulations. Okay. We just stay right there for a second. One of the things that I get to do as a past international director is to be able to, on behalf of our president, present awards. So I have one tonight to present. Here's my other list. I knew it was somewhere. This is a certificate of appreciation, and it's signed by Fabrizio Oliveira. He's from Brazil, by the way. Next year, our president will be from Mumbai, India, and the president after that will be from Connecticut. Close to Massachusetts. So let me read this. This is the 4th highest award presented in Lions Clubs International. And it says, in recognition of distinguished achievements in fulfilling the mission of Lions Clubs International to affirm the appreciation and gratitude of the association, I have hereunto affixed my signature during the Lions year 2024-2025, International President Fabrizio Oliveira. And I'm presenting this to Debbie Gregory.
I'm receiving for y'all. Y'all have been doing the work.
I also have in my hand the International President's pen. So I'm not very adept at getting this plastic over. But that seems to be working out okay. But we're not done. I haven't stuck you with it yet. I dropped it down the lady's front one time, and that was really bad. And she's holding it out, so it's and had other accidents. Almost, I'm trying to get this clasp. Okay, so congratulations, and this is the Fabrizio's International Center. Okay, I'm through talking. I'll go sit down. She's speechless.
I am, I didn't even think about it. So before we dismiss, I want to thank our very important fella, I won't say it in that way, but past international director, Lion Sam Lindsay, for honoring us with his presence and with his knowledge and taking care of all of our ceremonies. Thank you. 2 items of business that I should have already done, so I'm going to just word it this way, I think. Without any objections, we have held this meeting and we will adjourn it without any further business. We will take the business to the next meeting. Is that okay? No objections? Okay. That's done. Okay. That's something else. Now, what was I gonna say?
Well, I would be happy to say on Debbie's vest is one of my campaign pins when I was running for international director.
This one right here.
That one right there.
Sam.
It says Sid
Sing
Sam.
Sam.
And they want to know Cindy where, so just get him out.
There was something else I was supposed to tell you. I had two things. I told you two things. Oh, it went out of my head.
You'll remember when you get. Did you need a hug? Is that what you're doing?
Oh, and Debbie is wearing my international director.
Yes. I think I had one when he was governor too, but I'm not sure. Must not be on here.
I don't see it.
Shame on me. There was something I was supposed to tell you. Oh, here it is, I got it now. Without any objections, all of the officers, instead of waiting until July 1st to take office, will take office on May 1st. Is that okay?
It must be because I installed it. I didn't realize that Debbie had one of my pins on her vest already, so I actually brought another. And since Shanna came to our cabinet meeting this Saturday, I would like to present this one to her. She's gonna trust me to pin it. You're very brave.
She's watching.
Help me out.
I am. Gotcha. I know how many people it takes to have hands.
Okay, now sit down, I promise.
Okay, is there any further business to come before the Lions Club?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.